Alright, guys, I decided to spare you the voice of whatever Jaden named her. I want to say Brenda. I don't know. That's what I called her when I rewatched the video she made. But instead, you get to listen to me. So, I'm now teaching you the easy way to find derivatives. No more long limit methods until your test. But you get a break for now. So, pause and applaud if you need to. Alright, so derivative of a constant function, meaning a function that doesn't have any variables, is always 0. So for a, y prime is 0. S prime of t is 0. F prime is 0. Y prime is 0, right? Those are all constant functions. Therefore, they are all equal to 0. Easy enough, right? All right, so number 2, moving on, our single variable rule. So anything that's got an x, or the derivative of x, is just 1. So f prime, when f of x is just 1. S prime at t is 1. X prime of t is 1. Hello, Maisie the cat. I do not need your help. Thank you. All right. So those are fairly straightforward and easy enough. I wish you guys could see this. My kitten's on my shoulder. But, okay. So now we're learning the power rule. So I'm going to be honest, guys. This is my favorite part. So you take your exponent. You multiply it to the front. Then subtract 1. So the derivative of x squared would be 2x, right? Because you bring the 2 in front, and then you do 2 minus 1, which is just 1. So 2 to the first, which is just 2x. So for b here, f prime, 4 goes in front. Then you do 4 minus 1, which is 3, so it's 4x cubed. Okay, when you have a square root, you need to write this as a power. So remember, the square root of x is the same as x to the 1/2. So 1/2 comes in front. You do 1/2 minus 1, which is negative 1/2. So that is 1 over 2. Then that comes back down times square root of x, or x to the 1/2. Okay, so the x stayed on top. Sorry, the 1 stayed on top. The 2 and the x to the 1/2 come to the bottom because we don't like negative exponents. All right, looking at D, you have 1 over x. So you can write that as x to the negative first. So negative 1, x, then minus to the negative 2, which is negative 1 over x squared. All right. Y prime, g prime of x. Okay, for e, we're going to write 1 over x squared as x to the negative 2. So negative 2 comes in front, x minus 1. So negative 2, x to the negative 3, which is negative 2 over x cubed. All right, and for f, we have x to the negative 2/3. So the negative 2/3 comes in front. Subtract 1, that makes that a negative 5/3. So you get negative 2 over 3x to the 5/3 power. Right, so this is the power rule. It's fairly straightforward. Move it in front, then subtract 1 for your exponent. All right, so let's keep going. So if there's something already in front of your x or your variable, you just multiply, right? So that 2 is going to come in front, multiply to the 3, making that a 6x. Same thing here. Negative 15t squared. Right? Write it as an exponent first. So 1/2 times 6 is 3. Minus 1. X to the negative 1/2. So since it started as a radical, put it back as a radical. So you get 3 over the square root of x. Here, rewrite it as 3x to the negative 2. Multiply negative 6x to the negative 3. So here we have 4x to the negative 1/2. So you get 2x to the negative 3/2. And here you have 8x to the negative 4/3. Right, so remember when you have something like this, the inside exponent is your numerator, the outside is your denominator. Okay, so, oh, and that's a negative 8. So 32 over 3x to the negative 7/3. Right, because you're subtracting 1 or 3 over 3. Right, so then that answer would be 32 over 3x to the 7/3. Right, isn't this fun? It's so much faster. Right, so now let's keep putting it all together. All right, so now we just get to put it all together. So you're just going to do it lots and lots of times. So for x cubed, you get 3x squared. For the negative 5x squared, you get negative 10x. And then the 2x, you get a 2. Remember, x is just 1, and that, so the 7 is a 0. And the x becomes a 1. All right, for b, multiply the 5, so you get 2x to the 4th plus 4x cubed plus 6x. Okay, for g, make those exponents first. So you get 1/3 x to the negative 2/3 and 5 over 2x to the negative 1/2. Okay, here 3 over 2 times 5, so 15 over 2x to the 1/2 minus 30 over 3, which is 10x to the 2/3. Oh, and make that a 4x to the negative 1. So minus 4x to the negative 2. All right, take a minute, see if you can figure out E. And then for F, go ahead and divide out that x first. Make that 3x to the negative 1. So take a minute, work those out, and let me know what you get.
Here's here and talk a little.
All right, so hopefully that's what you got for E and F. All right, y'all should be pros by now. All right, so derivatives of sine, cosine, and tangent. So the derivative of sine is cosine. Derivative of cosine is negative sine. Derivative of tangent, any guesses? Probably not, because it's secant squared. But you didn't see that one coming. So we could go through a lot with these graphs and proving these, but we're not going to, because I guess I kind of like you guys. So, yeah, so we are skipping this part. Oh, we do need to go over derivatives of natural log, right? So, the derivative of e to the x is e to the x. Derivative of the natural log of x is 1 over x. So, let's look at a here. So, remember our rules of logarithms. You can rewrite that as 3 ln x. So then f prime would be 3 over x. Okay, so for this one, again, we've got to remember our exponent properties. Since it's a log of a product, we can write that as the sum of two logs. So this is the same as ln of x squared plus ln e to the x. Then remember our exponents go in front. So it's 2 ln x plus x ln e. And what do we remember about the natural log of e? What does that become? 1. So we're finding the derivative of 2 ln x plus x. So g prime is 2 over x plus 1. All right, so for this one, let's go ahead and write our 1 over x as a power. So the derivative of ln x is 1 over x. Then we're going to bring that -1 in front. All right, so let's pretend there's 1 there. So that becomes a positive 1x to the -2. So it's 1 over x plus 1 over x squared. And I will just leave it like that. All right, so we got to use some log properties. Right, I know, everybody's so excited, but that's okay. All right, so let's simplify this out first. So remember, when you have division, it becomes subtraction. And then we have products, right? We have 2 times e to the x, and we have 3 times x. So we have ln 2 plus ln e to the x minus ln 3. Since that's a minus there, it's another minus ln x. So then we can bring this exponent in front. So you get ln 2 plus x ln e minus ln of 3 minus ln x. So now we're thinking y prime, the derivative. So that's just a number, so that's 0. That becomes 1, so derivative of x is just 1. That's a number, it becomes 0. ln of x is 1 over x. So we get 1 minus 1 over x as our derivative. So the hardest part of these is just remembering your logarithm properties. Okay, let's do another one. So you get ln 4 plus ln x cubed plus ln e to the x. You bring those exponents in front. All right, remember that becomes a 1, so we're just worried about the x. So f prime, so that's a 0 now. You get 3 over x plus 1. All right, one more. So let's rewrite our second part here. We'll leave pi e to the x alone, minus 1 over x to the 2/3. Well, let's just make that x to the -2/3. Okay, so finding g prime. So derivative of e to the x is just e to the x, so that pi e to the x stays the same. So that will become a plus 2/3 x to the -5/3. So you can write that as 2 over 3x to the 5/3. And that's it. I know we did a lot of math. Hopefully you guys get through this video in one day. But then you can start your homework for the next 2 days. I'll give you the next 2 class days to work on it. Unless you don't need that much time. But email me with questions. Let me know what you get, what you don't get. If I need to make another video going over something, if you get stuck on a problem, let me know. And we will figure it out. Thanks.